Welcome to Astroventure, the DSLR astrophotography channel. Hey there, Astroventures, welcome back. If you're new to this astrophotography channel, my name is George, and this is the astrophotography channel for DSLR and mirrorless camera bodies, combined with the lenses we already own and a simple star tracker like the Sky Guider Pro or the Star Adventurer. Well, it's that time. Next weekend, we will start to get the first few hours of darkness as the moon sets, and looking at the timeanddate.com website, it looks like on the 10th into the 11th, we'll start to get about 3 hours of shooting time. So we'll go ahead and get the June recommendations for targets in the Northern Hemisphere. So let's get going. Here we go. First off, the target that I want to suggest is the Milky Way. The Milky Way is up, and this is the perfect time to shoot that panorama of it going from the southeast up to the north. And it takes a little bit of work. I personally haven't been able to shoot one because to the east, the skies aren't so good, but you're going to want to use your nice wide lens. You're going to want to have a tripod, and as you overlap your panoramas to put them together, ideally I like to do about a third to 50% overlap between my panorama shots. Next up would be the Milky Way Core. Give the evening a few more hours and the Milky Way will swing around to the south, and you can have a nice beautiful core shot coming up from the south before we get to the point where, you know, the Milky Way starts to drop back over. So you really want to jump on this with the Milky Way shots. You can do either stock camera or modified. The modified cameras are going to pick up a bit more of the red. However, the Milky Way is completely doable with a stock camera. Now, working to the south before, as I said, everything starts to slide back south, we're going to look for those southern targets that are down low, and the first one I want to throw up there is in the constellation of Scorpio, and that would be Rho Ophiuchi, and I am sure I'm saying that wrong. Would love to know how to say that correctly, but it's centered around the star Antares. With that one, you can shoot with a 50 millimeter up, but you're going to be on a wide focal length for this because there is so much. You can shoot this with stock or modified. There's lots of colors in there. It makes itself readily available for a stock camera. With a modified, you're going to pick up some of the hydrogen alpha red that's out there and available as well. Moving over just above the tail of Scorpio is the Lobster Nebula, NGC 6357, and with that one you can shoot this with well, I would suggest Astro or a full spectrum camera because there's a lot of hydrogen alpha in there. Stock cameras, this target really isn't for you. Looking at about 300 millimeters, and with that you'll be able to pick up the Lobster Nebula and this other nebula right next to it that I framed up here that I'm just not sure as to what the name of that nebula is. However, 300 millimeter on up for the Lobster Nebula. And then finally we're going to move over to a really easy target with lots of color that'll work for both stock and a modified camera, and that's the Lagoon Nebula, Messier object number 8, which is also right next door to the Trifid. You can shoot this one with 200 millimeters on up, depending on how you want to frame it up. Stock cameras work great on this target. However, with an Astro modified, you're going to pick up a bit more on these targets. So there you have it. And if you like what we're doing here, would love to see you join us over at our Facebook group, Astroventure DSLR, and consider liking, subscribing, and ringing the bell. And until next time, I wish you clear skies and uneventful nights.